of our 2024 journey of our adoption to Liberia to get our kids. It is technically in our adoption process overall day 650. So today, this video is part of my 60-day video journey of just my commitment to speak to them every single day for 60 days on YouTube. The more subscribers we have, the more people share our story, the more people write to their congressmen, reach out to the State Department, and just are aware. That helps with our adoption, because we're literally to the point where we're just throwing these issues to the court of public opinion. Court of public opinion is a phrase that a friend of mine used in a letter that it's a template where you can, if you're a friend or family member of us and you want to email your Congress representatives, the House or Senate, or you want to email the State Department, this is like a template letter where you can personalize it, but it kind of gives you the facts. In our last video, I talked about how we're just basically praying for a miracle. We're getting on a plane and we're praying for a miracle of paperwork. And even if God does not grant us that miracle of just being able to bring them home in one fell swoop. Every time I say one fell swoop, I think about my friend that's a comedian. That's one of his things, is one fell swoop. Thanks, Nate, for making me laugh, even in my sad video. One thing that I'm wearing this shirt, it says fight. This is a really old adoption shirt. I've had it for 10 years. And it was a fundraising shirt for another family literally 10 or 15 years ago. It's really soft. I'll be sad if it ever gets lost. But if I don't fight for my kids and I don't speak for my kids, my kids that are orphans in Liberia, nobody's really going to, because no one's going to know to. There are other orphans that don't have families. There's orphans that will survive Liberia, maybe not. Pretty high death rate there for kids. Number one cause of death is malaria. It'll be a miracle if they make it to adulthood healthily. And the ones that do make it are very overwhelmed by the youth of their country. It's getting better. Like the survival rates, the economy, the peace that they've maintained for the last almost 2 decades, but definitely 1 decade, is remarkable. Actually maybe coming up on, they're in their 2nd decade of peace from their large civil war that was a 20-year war. But today what I really want to talk about is the miracle part. As a parent, as a foster parent, as an adoptive parent, as an emergency medicine medical provider, and as just a person in life that cares about good and evil, I've seen some pretty evil things. I sell Noonday. I haven't mentioned that much on these videos. If you want to buy Noonday, you know where to find me. But this is made by trafficking victims in East Asia. It's a silver. I got this for my birthday for one of my kids. I've had to wear it a lot lately just to remind myself that there is, in fact, a God. I mean, because some of the darkness that I've seen over the last, specifically 3 years of parenting, especially entering into the foster care world and serving there, it makes you wonder, like, is there a God? Does he see this? Is he planning on addressing this? And I think what helps me a lot is when I look at my 3 other kids. And we adopted our oldest at birth. Beautiful adoption story, have great relationship with her birth parents even to this day. She's the most planned, easy, out of the book baby you'll ever like. I cried, peed, pooed, everything at the right time, you know. She walked, she talked, she did it all. But 3 days before her birth mother's induction, we had developed a relationship with them. We had this plan. I found out I was pregnant, and unexpectedly so. And I was like, oh. And then ended up having a little preemie, not dangerously preemie, but preemie nonetheless. So I had 2 babies in 7 months. I was like, great, that's a miracle. Everybody talked about it as a miracle, because we had never prevented pregnancy really, but we spent, we were married for 4 years before we adopted our oldest. But for the first 3 years, we didn't really prevent pregnancy, but it didn't really happen. So like the 3rd year, we were like, maybe we should see what's going on. Adoption was always a part of our plan A. And as we neared wanting to be parents more, we found out that it was like, miracles happen, probably not for you. Like, like our test results were so bad. And so we were like, oh, okay. So we'll move on to adoption. It was a clean break from the fertility world for us. A lot of people don't have that, but we just had permission to move on. They were like, this is going to cost you thousands of dollars and it probably won't work. So it was easy for us to move forward. And then when we got pregnant, it was like, ooh. So I was like, oh, this is a great little miracle. Let's not do that. I was, it was a complicated pregnancy, sick the whole time, It's like, we'll adopt the rest, but no more pregnancies. And then we got pregnant again. And it was a miraculous shock for me. It's been interesting to see having 3 kids in a 37-month time frame, all infants, is hard. You, I mean, miracle or not, you literally never feel like you're giving them what they need. And so when we were selling these fight t-shirts for other families, kind of in that chapter of our life, where we were helping other families and helping ourselves adopt and just immersed into the adoption culture, which really just means mostly like half of it's fundraising and half of it's teaching people the right thing to say to adoptive families. Like, people say weird stuff. Watching my girls, like they're 10, 10, and 7 now, and how close they are, and the way that they have, I can't get emotional because I have to go to work after this, and I've already got my work face on. Their work, the way they said hello to the fosters and then goodbye was hard. Their wisdom and the timing of their births was very hard for me, because I was like, whoa, like, you really can't go anywhere, and when you do go somewhere, you better take people with you. Like, going to Target with 3 babies is just hard. I remember being super pregnant with number 3, and the other 2 were both 2 years old, and I was like, whose idea was this? But you can see they needed a team, especially with our foster kids. We needed a team, you know. One of my friends keeps saying, you can't take that big stroller to Africa, you'll never get through airport. And I'm like, dude, I'm taking my Wonderfold. Like, that's where I live. I'm gonna crawl up in the fetal position myself and get in that stroller if I have to. If you don't have a Wonderfold, you need one if you have more than 3 kids. But the teamwork that it's going to take for them to help our new kids come home and understand what it's like to be kids here. And not in an orphanage, although my house is kind of like a daycare sometimes. So the main thing I want to say today about our adoption journey is that we spent a lot of money. We're sending visas out. Tomorrow I'm going to do a video of how we're sending our visas, because Jeremy's got to go get a cashier's check. It's this very detailed thing. But today I just wanted to say that I know that God is there. I know that there's evil things that are holding our kids hostage, literally. And every day it's a new thing, you know. Like, recently we've heard about there's like DNA testing that has to be done randomly for some kids and not others. There's all these different obstacles that keep popping up that are like, you know, there's a family that's been waiting to complete their adoption of 2 little girls for 10 weeks now. And they're legal parents in Liberia of these kids, but the U.S. won't let them bring them home. They can't just stay there indefinitely. I mean, they lose their house, you know, they have jobs. Like, these are normal things. So, so today my outfit choice, the fight t-shirt under my scrubs and this little cross necklace, is that I've had a lot of like moments over, especially the last 2 years, where deference to God has been difficult, to say the least. And like, my anger and my tears and my frustration with the injustices that these kids are undergoing for no reason. They could easily come to the protection of my home today. Or the foster care world, where kids are coming in and out of your house and all they need is just to wake up in the same place, and the government won't allow that either. So, you know, it's taken me some time to understand that this is not God doing this. This is people. And so I appeal to you, people, and the court of public opinion. I do believe that people are good. And I think that this can be done. But I don't think that we're going to be able to bring our kids home. I don't think any of the families that are in process are going to be able to bring their kids home until specifically the American people, voters, taxpayers, people with resources, raise their voice in support of us. I don't think anything's going to move. And I don't know if that's God's calling on this situation. Like, I don't know if this is his way to expose it. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know if I'm probably just going to be, you know, trying to get a work visa and stay in Liberia. I've been looking at jobs over there. I don't know the answer to any of those questions. I do know that God is still God. I believe that he agrees with our adoption. I don't think he would have cared if we just said, no, we don't want to adopt. But I don't think that would have been like, he would have been like, oh, well, you must not be really like a Christian because you don't want to adopt. I don't think God sees it that way. I think that when we were presented with the opportunity to add to our family by way of adoption internationally, which is like a minefield of spiritual warfare, I think that he supports that. And I think he maybe, hopefully, he was like, oh, well, I was already got some plans over there. Let's see where we can, you know, put you to work. Because it is work. It's not easy. A colleague of mine said something about, I admire your patience on this adoption process. And I'm like, patience? Like, I'm not. Do I look patient? Because I don't feel patient. But I think that statement was more about endurance, you know, like you're staying the course. You're not giving up. And she's right, I'm not. But I don't want every single thing about our adoption to require a ferocity from me that's difficult. But I do need the support of other American citizens, specifically parents, specifically moms. I need you guys to write letters. I need you guys to send emails. I need you guys to get on YouTube yourselves. I need you to get on Facebook. I need you to get on social media. And we need to use these tools of communication to change the world for these kids. And not just my kids, there's more. There's so many more. But specifically, think about my daughters and their birth mother's choice to give them a future. Not necessarily a beautiful future, just one that exists, one where they live. You know, our birth mother of our oldest daughter, when we adopted her at birth, you know, she had dreams of like, I want her to go to college if she wants to go to college. I want her to go to church every Sunday without having to worry about two parents being at work and not enough food on the table and having to apply for this or that to try to make the ends meet, or God forbid foster care. Like, that was her dream. Her dream was like college, siblings, safety, soccer, horseback riding lessons. Our birth mother in Liberia, anything where they're breathing. Safe and breathing. And there's some barriers to that today, and out of respect for her, we're gonna knock them down, but we can't do it by ourselves. I've exhausted my resources. Other than talking to you guys every day on YouTube, I've exhausted my resources. One thing I will say is I've been selling Noonday for a little over a year now, and the Noonday necklaces and stuff, and I use the commission off of that as a business. It's not a nonprofit, it's for profit jewelry and accessory business. Fair trade company, artisans all over the world are owning their own businesses and entrepreneurship, and we purchase their products, and Noonday purchase them, and then we sell them here. And so we give them fair trade jobs in very dangerous countries, some of them. That community has been very helpful. So if you are a Noonday ambassador and you're watching this, get to talking, get to sharing, get to speaking for these kids, because you guys are the best at it. So, but in the comments below, there's a link to our Adopt Together. I have it as a bit.ly, Adopt Faster, because it's easier to remember, but Adopt Together, it's a tax deductible crowdfunding site, so you can give a donation there at $5. You can give a donation there. It should help a lot. Oh, almost knocked you guys over. So I'm a little more upbeat today, but I just want you to know that it's been a long year, and we need you. We need your voice. Your voice matters. And I already have like a couple friends that have already sent emails, and they're working on their emails, and they're so excited. I appreciate that. You guys are great. Of all the people that viewed these videos, it's a pretty large percent, a lot of views, you know, but a small percentage have actually reached out to me and asked for the email and contact information and what to do next. So we have a template for you guys, so you don't have to come from your own original written word. We have something to help you. But happy day 8. Keep going.